Video to our monitors take us to Idaho and the challenge to one of the nation's strictest abortion laws. CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdes live outside that Boise courthouse right now. Nicole, this lawsuit brought by women for women. What are the implications here?
Well, Reed, these women are simply trying to figure out what really qualifies under the state's medical exception to its abortion ban. Right now, there are two separate bans, one that bans nearly all abortions in the state of Idaho, another that bans them after 6 weeks. But that near total abortion ban does specify that there are some medical exceptions to where women could be eligible to get an abortion in the state. The problem is these women say they don't know really what that means. And it's not only confusing those patients who may need that care in the case of serious complications, but it's also confusing doctors who tell me they are fearful of spending time in prison for trying to help their patients. The potential criminal consequence here is up to 5 years in prison and potentially losing their license. Now, I spoke to a 32-year-old woman, Kayla Smith, the day she took the stand here at the Ada County District Court. She's gone through, of course, what you can imagine is just a horrible situation. Her second pregnancy, what would have been her son, Brooks. She had a name picked out. She was so excited to grow her family, but received devastating news that he had several heart defects and was told he had little to no chance of surviving. She says she was forced to leave the state to get the care she needed. Now, she did not go through what many would call a typical abortion. She actually had labor induced, welcomed her son into the world, and held him for the mere moments his heart was still beating. She shared her devastating story with us, and I asked her, because now she lives in the state of Washington, I asked her whether or not Idaho's current laws were the reason she chose to leave.
100%. That's why we left. When I became pregnant again with my daughter who just turned 1, I knew my life was in danger. I was so scared. I was terrified to stay here pregnant.
Now, Reed, she is one of 6 women that are suing the state over that ban, seeking that clarity here. But of course, there are the Attorney General's office here representing the state of Idaho trying to defend this case.
So what are the state's arguments there? You see these personal stories, they are so compelling, but how does the state counter the impact, the emotional weight of what these stories offer?
Right. Well, I want to clarify, we've actually reached out to the Attorney General's office to sit down with us and give us their perspective here. They declined because of their involvement in this lawsuit. But as we've listened to their attorneys here in court, they have stated they don't believe this law should be rewritten. In fact, they worry that in doing so and including exceptions that are not clearly listed could actually not only usurp the role of the legislature that put this law into place, but allow for, in what they argue, unnecessary abortions in cases where women may be going through medical complications, but they could be maybe minor or treatable conditions. So right now they are arguing that the law should remain as is and that it is in fact constitutional. Reed.
President-elect Donald Trump has said he wanted this issue pushed to the states, and now we are at the state level. CBS News covering this state to state. Nicole Valdes, thank you so much, live in Boise, Idaho.